Welcome to Classical Homeopathy Channel. I'm Bill Gray, your host, homeopath for 49 years. In this session, I want to describe the difference between classical homeopathy and so-called non-classical or keynote homeopathy, which takes several forms. As in all professions, there are different factions that over a couple of centuries develop based on the predilections of the individual practitioners. The three major ones in homeopathy are the classical form, which I'm going to describe, the keynote prescribing form, and also combination remedy prescribing. So to describe these, I'll start with the keynote prescription. As you understand, remedies for each individual are based on the uniqueness of the person, mental, emotional, physical, if we're looking at it classically. Keynote prescriber, and that can take often an hour or a few hours in a chronic case to identify exactly all the features of the individual in a unique way, especially on the mental emotional plane. That's a lot of work. Keynote prescribers are trained to look at symptoms in terms of their uniqueness, and mostly they pay attention to physical symptoms, although with some attention on unique mental and emotional traits. But what they're doing is identifying unique symptoms, strange, rare, and peculiar features of a remedy picture. Let's say you have a flu and you're sensitive to cold, or you're chilled and shaking, and you're, let's say, thirst less, and you have a high fever maybe at 3 in the afternoon, or let's say in the evening. Each of those are features, we call them keynotes, which can lead to different remedies. Keynote prescribers have been trained to be extremely effective in acute prescribing for that reason. It's a pretty dramatic picture. Keynote prescribing is very useful for acute prescribing, and it's very effective, and even lay people can learn how to do it in their own homes and so on. That's a very useful thing in itself. When it gets translated into treating chronic disease, however, the principles of focusing just on keynote symptoms, mostly physical, are not enough. You need a fuller picture of what's unique about the entire individual to find the remedy that creates the most resonance with the person. So there's a big difference there. So keynote prescribers will, characteristically, they'll give this remedy for this problem, that remedy for that problem, that remedy for that problem, that remedy for that problem. Similar, you might say, to allopathic medicine. It's an allopathic way of thinking in the homeopathic realm. In a chronic disease, applying keynote prescribing can be suppressive. It can suppress symptoms just like allopathic medicine does, and therefore increase the chronicity of the problem rather than producing a cure. Most keynote prescribers are single remedy prescribers, though, to their credit, and that's less confusing to the body. Combination prescribers, they figure, well, if remedies work on the energy plane, rather than get into all the complications of individual keynotes and so on, why not just take the most common remedies for a given collection of complaints, let's say a flu or maybe arthritis or something like that, and make a formula made up of the main remedies that are known for that. And they give all of those at once to the person in a combination. Or they may vary that a little bit and give single remedy in the morning, another remedy in the afternoon, another remedy in the evening, or combinations of that sort. The difficulty with that is that the frequencies, the vibrations of those individual remedies are similar enough to each other that they tend to be dissonant when they're put together. They interfere with each other. It's kind of like trying to mix, jazz and country music and rock and roll. To get the best out of each, you combine them together and you get noise mostly. It will not be a positive experience. So combination remedies, although here and there they produce some temporary relief, it's not really the most effective form of homeopathy. Classical homeopathy is more advanced, more sophisticated. It looks at the whole person, mental, emotional, and physical. Actually, we probably spend 70% of the time focusing on what's unique about the personality of a person on the mental and emotional levels, as opposed to what's unique about the physical levels. Like I say, it takes some time, and it takes some profound self-reflection and insight on the part of the patient to be able to give some accurate descriptions of what they're like deep inside. Then a single remedy, even in both acute and chronic disease, single remedies are given in classical homeopathy. In chronic disease, if it's, it's complicated, but in C potencies, one dose is given, and then we wait and give it time for the remedy to work on every level in the body. There are laws of cure that we pay attention to in classical homeopathy as well. I'll describe that in a later session. But we know when the remedy is being suppressive as opposed to curative by the laws of cure. There are potencies that are liquid that you give daily for 20 days and then stop and wait a while. I will describe that in other sessions as well. But the essential thing that differentiates classical homeopathy from Keynote or combination prescribing is that we're looking carefully at the whole individual, and we're giving a single remedy, hopefully aimed accurately to resonate with that person's entire vibrational field and stimulate the body to heal itself.